7 minutes after 2 o'clock. I'm not riding solo in this hour. Benny Chill is here. I have been promising Benny Chill for the past few days, and we're doing so many things off air. Many things are happening off air. Mics are being moved, hair is being locked and unlocked, social media is on standby, cameras are doing a whole lot of things. Okay, headphones are on. I just need for one thing to happen. Let's do that thing. Hey Benny.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks, and you?
I'm good. Can you hear yourself clearly?
Yes, I can.
All right, welcome to The Elements.
Thank you so much for having me.
How are you doing today? Tell me about your day so far.
My day so far, it's really good.
Yeah?
I like this type of weather.
Ew, why?
I like this. It's not too hot, so like you don't feel irritable. You don't feel like
I feel like exactly like that
right now.
Yes.
This is the perfect weather.
No, it's not. Let me tell you why. So yesterday I was wearing like a cute top, right? And then I didn't have to have layers on. I didn't have to have a big jacket on. I like it when the sun is out because it brings good energy. You know, like the color yellow.
Okay.
But today is gray.
Yeah, I think for me it's maybe because like I'm a winter baby, so like whenever it's like cold, I just feel good.
You feel good when it's cold. Hence Benny Chill. It makes a lot of sense. All right, Benny, tell me a very short synopsis on you and your artistry.
Okay, wait, but me and my artistry is like actually two different things.
Tell me about the two then.
Okay, cool. So Benny Chilwane is a boy from MP who's an entertainer who started this entertainment journey from the age of 11. Throughout my dance career, I traveled overseas, gained knowledge, met certain people that later charged up the Benny Chill musician.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So yeah, like I spent a couple years dancing, 11 years to be precise.
Yeah.
And yeah, I danced for the biggest artists in the country, all of them. I danced for guys overseas, and then eventually I received the highest level of like my calling, which was the music side. And that's how Benny Chill was born. But prior to that, I was already called Benny Chill in primary because I was like always like I had a high level of energy.
Right.
So they'd always say Benny Chill, dog, Benny Chill. So then from there, like let go, like Benny Chill just stuck.
So tell me about all the things that you learned through your dancing that eventually then set the foundation for the artist that you are today. Okay,
cool. So my stage presence was formed from the fact that like throughout my dancing career, I'd been on stage for so long that when it was time to be on stage as an artist, I was so comfortable with the stage that like performing and also like if you're a dancer, you have a very good musical ear because you listen to so much music.
Yes.
And if you've danced for this artist, that artist, you're dancing to so many sounds and music, and you can see what's shaking the crowd, you can see what's moving the crowd. So it's almost like you're in school. This whole time you're being a dancer for these people in the background on adverts or whatever award shows, Metro Awards, whatever.
Yes.
And you're learning. Then once it was time for me to start my music journey, and I always mention this. Shout out to Cortez Bryant. Cortez Bryant is Lil Wayne's manager. When I was 19, I was in New York, courtesy of a specific brand. Shout out to them. I truly appreciate them. And while I was there, Cortez told me that you're going to become an artist.
Oh wow.
And I was like, at the time I was like, no, I'm just a dancer.
I'm just a dancer.
Yeah, I'm just a dancer.
In the background, and I supplement.
Yeah, you know. And then he was like, no, your energy, you're going to become an artist. And I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. At the time I didn't understand what he was talking about. And then like 2 years later I started making music. In 2017 I started making music, and then now 2020 we're here.
So how do we go from you having that interaction, having somebody technically prophesy over your life and your career in that way, and at that point in time you don't see it. So how do you go from not seeing it, having that seed planted though, and then actually then manifesting it and living it?
Yeah, so from that moment it was almost like a ripple effect of like more prophecy type moments, because I linked up with a Pastor Delton from like back in the East Rand, and the first time he met me, he asked me, he's like, yo, what do you do? And I'm like, oh no, and then he's like, wait, you're an artist. I'm like,
Wow, that's incredible.
and I was like, no, I'm a dancer. It's like, oh, but you'll be an artist. And then I was like, wait, what do you mean? And then so more of those moments. An Uber driver once told me that it's the same thing.
Wow.
I'd come from a rehearsal from like a major artist, and he asked me, he's like, yo, you seem like you're an active person. I'm like, yeah, I'm a dancer. And then it's like, oh, who do you dance for? Like, well, what do you? And I was like, oh no, I dance for this so and so. And he's like, you're going to become bigger than so and so. I'm like, wait, what do you mean? And then he was like, your presence is going to be more impactful and influential than that person, and you must just make sure you're moving in the same positive spirit that you're moving in. So like a lot of very profound moments were happening up until the point I actually recorded a song for the first time. I think July 2017.
Yeah. So what do you actually do when those types of things happen? Because I feel like a lot of people get those kinds of prophecies, get that kind of having someone speak life over their dreams and their destiny in that way, but they don't move and they just expect things to happen.
Very true.
So what is it that you then did? Hearing all of these things, there's something that you did, and then the universe and everything opened up and started responding to you. So you hear these things, and then what happens right there in the middle before things start taking off?
Okay, cool. So like I'm very big on manifestation.
Yeah.
Like my whole life. Like, and I always make this joke with my mom or my brother. Like I've designed everything with my mind.
Yes.
Like me and God, because I have a very good relationship with God. So like we're like besties, and because I have so much faith in Him, there's nothing I can't do if I really want to do it.
Right.
So what happened was, I was receiving all these little things, like this guy telling me this lady saying this, that person saying, oh, you look like a rapper, like those type of things. And then I was like, okay, Benny, phase 2 now. And then I was like, phase 2 is basically analyzing before you do something.
Right. Because
people fail because they take an L because they jump into something without analyzing.
Yes.
So with me, I spent a year before I touched the mic just analyzing how my friends were making music, like watching YouTube videos of interviews of my favorite artists, Lil Wayne, Bomandoza, Bozola, like watching those guys' interviews, watching how they perform, like basically immersing myself in this thing that I'm about to jump into. And then from there, I got into a studio, because now your mind has started like training itself.
Yes, it's like visualizations, because the brain doesn't tell that you're imagining this versus actually doing it.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
So I did that for like a long period of time before I got into studio, and then once I got into studio, it's now like you go into phase 3 where that you're physically doing this thing, and then from there everything just took off.
Everything just took off from there. You speak about how God is your best friend, right? But it also then makes me very interested to find out 2 things. One, growing up, who is the most influential person in your life?
My mom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
So my mom has, besides the fact that she was the only parent, besides that fact, like the way she's moved through life, through hardship, in a positive spirit, has made me like also move through life. Like I can go through the worst stuff, but you'll never tell that, like, this guy slept on the floor for the first 3 years of his life in Joburg. You'll assume that cheese boy, because of the fact that I don't allow like the environment to like become me. And that's the one thing that my mom taught me, that like no matter how injan like around you, whatever's inside, if you protect that thing, you can move like a rich person with nothing in your account.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
And who's the most influential person in your life now?
My friends.
How so and why? We're
all striving towards the same thing, and we're all closely linked, because my friends are all artists, Costa Titch is my best friend. I'm saying Skuliswe too. Our moms are best friends. Phantom Steez, we're all linked.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of other guys, Nelsino, Shampuru Makenzo. And we're all striving towards the same thing, so we all influence each other because we're all hungry for the same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, Benny Chill is here. It's just gone 16 minutes after 2 o'clock. He's going to be here until we hit 3 o'clock. And as you can hear, I'm trying to get to know the man behind the music a little bit better, because I feel like you hear the music and you make certain assumptions about who the person making the music is. But it's so much better when they let you know themselves. Here's Benny Chill with Hey Chill again, and then we're going to go get some money, and then we're going to come back and talk to Benny Chill some more. It's gone 20 minutes after 2 o'clock. Benny Chill is here. If I sound like I've been laughing, it's because I have been, because there's so much that's going on, but I'm not going to put you on blast. We can talk about that a little bit more off air just now. Just now, you mentioned, because you grew up in Mpumalanga, right?
Yeah.
And then you moved up to Joburg.
Yeah.
And you mentioned having slept on the floor for the first 3 years being in Joburg.
Yeah.
What happened? How did you get there?
Okay, so here's the thing. Like when I came to Joburg, there was no like, you see when someone's going to like study,
Yes.
they have like, I'm gonna go to accommodation, I've got res,
Things are set.
Yeah, things are set.
Yeah.
So for me it was a thing of like straight after high school, I spoke to my mom and she was telling me that like, she wouldn't be able to like financially take care of like my brother who's still in high school.
Yes.
And me in university.
Yes.
But I was like, no, that's not a train smash, because I have ways of going up in life, and those are like God's gifts and stuff like that. So like when I came to Joburg, a guy called Mike, a very great human being, he took me in because he was also a dancer.
Okay.
So he took me into his crew, and at his place, like I was sharing like a little room with like my homie Blaze, and then from there, 2016, I'm in Kempton Park. Towards the end of the year, I'm in Davidson, and then 20 like so every year, like it was just like there was no solid, stable. This is where I stay.
Just a lot of movement. Right?
But all I knew is that like, and this is where a lot of people like take the L, is that they don't know how to endure things, knowing that like, if this is a movie, it's like Will Smith, Pursuit of Happiness.
Yes.
When he was in the bathroom with his son, but that's not forever.
Yes. So that's temporary.
So that's the thing. So like whenever like I'm going through these things, I just know that like, if this is a movie, you sleeping on the floor because later on you want to be sleeping in the back of a Rolls Royce or whatever. Like, so it's that type of thing. Like you don't have to be. And I'm about to say something now, and some might not believe it, but I'm actually being honest. Even in like those periods of time where I was like sleeping on the floor or like a couch, or I was never depressed, like not even once. I only experienced depression last year.
Wow.
Like throughout the sleeping on floor or sleeping on the couch or whatever, there was no depression. I was still like the happy dude, whatever. Man, I'm just thankful to be in Joburg and still pushing and moving towards this dream. But then the only time I experienced like a depression or a high level of anxiety was last year, and it was only because I wasn't releasing music. Mm-hmm. Like and because my stuff was getting mixed and mastered. Right. So that's the thing. Like that's the only time I experienced like, But
then wait, that sounds strange to me, because for me it's like, the idea of sleeping on a floor and technically being homeless for 3 years, right? Versus being at a certain point further than where you were all those years ago, and a lot closer to your goals and your vision and your dream. And how is it that you were more seemingly mentally strong or armed to deal with the struggle of sleeping on a floor, and then you fast forward a few years later and the fact that you are unable to be releasing your music is the thing that breaks you?
So here's the thing. During the phase of like, so 2015 I was staying in the South, Glen Vista.
Hey, shout out to the South. I'm from there.
I was staying there. And like that's where like I was sleeping on like a little mattress type of thing, like and then 2016 I was staying in Davidson, and from time to time I'd go to my homie's place in Four Ways, and like when I was there, like I'd stay on the couch so that I'm able to do the dance gigs there. Right. So I think what made that process a bit easier was because during the phase of like I'm sleeping on couches, I had money. Like I had money, but just not enough to rent my own place, get couches.
But you could get by.
Yeah, I could like get by, like actually live like low key good. It's just that like I don't have like my own place, but I was like I had like money coming in, like because dance money when you're at a certain degree, you can literally get like 20k a month. Like you can like 20k a month, but it fluctuates 15k. And then you do an advert, 45,000 rand. Like so it would do this. Yes. So there's no sense of like stability. And then now with the music thing, I think it's just because the more time goes, like as and my friends and I always talk about this, like more cooler, and like you're striving towards something, you also realize that your parents are also getting older, and if you're striving to somehow assist or help your parents.
Yes.
You start getting frustrated because you realize that while you're getting older, Mzali is also getting older.
So are they.
And I'm about to get deep, but the older we get is the closer you are to death.
That's true.
So that's why like a frustration of, oh snap, I'm not releasing would come, because the music is what's moving everything forward.
Right. So why didn't you go home?
What, Nelspruit?
Yeah.
No ways. Yo.
No, I'm just saying, look, the normal person,
Yeah.
the ordinary person goes, yo man, I'm sleeping on floors and couches. I got some money coming in, but not enough for me to be able to firmly stand on my own the way that I want to.
Yeah.
I want to support and help back home, but I'm not quite 100% there. It doesn't feel dope.
Yeah.
Home is home. It's always where you can go back to. You know you've got a bed there. You know you've got a roof over your head, come what may. So a lot of the times people will step back, go back home, recalibrate, realign, and then go, okay, let's go back and try and figure this thing out again.
Okay, so here's the thing about like going home. The thing is, with the entertainment industry, things move extremely quickly. So if you take, like, for instance, I haven't spent a Christmas with my family since matric.
Shoo.
So that's my thing. Like, if you go back, you must just know that, like, oh, while I'm here in Nelspruit, things are moving that side, and when I come back, it's gonna be like there's a dancer that's in that space now, that you were that guy that was in that space. There's a whole another wave of dancers or whatever, or artists. So that whole time you were just chilling at home, like, it's a comfy bed. I got tea and cookies or rusks, whatever. Like, the entertainment industry has left you.
Yeah.
And for me, like, cause I've been in this thing since I was like young, I knew that thing happens, where like if you stop, the train goes.
Yeah.
So I was like, there's no ways. Like I'd go back home for like a weekend.
Yeah.
A weekend, come back, and yeah.
What did you learn most about yourself through all those times of discomfort?
I have a very solid spirit. I have an extremely solid spirit. Like, it takes a lot for me to get shaken. Like, whether it's like shaking like my confidence or like shaking my faith in God. Like, I have a very strong like spirit, extremely strong. Like, it's solid.
What do you do on a daily to maintain that, to keep that there? Because it's easy for that to start to wane away, especially with the way that life has been, especially over the past year. And then even if life wasn't like the way it was this past year, something happens to people. Things happen to people all the time. And it's very easy to feel broken and to feel like life is chipping away at you bit by bit by bit. And the spirit gets tired. So what do you do that keeps your spirit as strong as it is?
Okay, cool. So like, okay, here's the one thing that could help like a person a great deal without them even like needing to do too much. The people you surround yourself with. Like, because I used to do meditation, that type of stuff, but I don't meditate as much as I used to. But
why not?
Nah, like, I just not as much as I used to. I still do it from time to time, but it's just like I just stopped meditating as much as I used to. But I still pray the same amount. I still have those moments of silence, but it's not as in depth.
All right.
But then here's the thing: like, I'm surrounded with a bunch of friends, and like I live with my friends. Like, we're all living like in the same like house, and we all solid. Like, so it's difficult for something to penetrate, because the people that I stay with, the people that I move with, the people that I have fun with, we all in the same frequency in Gondo. We think about we're going to, so it's difficult for like an unfamiliar energy to like come in and like shake something or like make something weird. Or even during lockdown, we were good. Like, even though like there were no racks, like, it might be like we were stressing about money, whatever, we were still very good. Yes, that's the thing.
All right.
So your environment is very important. Then from there you can take it a step further. Like, okay, staying away from your phone as often as possible. But for me, I'm always on my phone. Like, I'm always on my phone. I don't need to do that. I'm sorry.
That's probably why you meditate less, because you're always on your phone.
Yeah,
you need to check.
So
that.
And less time on your phone, meditate, pray more, be in nature. I'm often in nature. Like a lot of people like are too in the city.
Yes.
Like go look at a tree. Do you know what I'm saying? Like go like outside, like smell the fresh air, let the sun hit your face. And yeah, like people are just like cooked up in like rooms, your laptop, you comparing your life to so and so, just like go outside. You know what I'm saying?
Go outside and get some fresh air and look at a tree. Yeah. It's just gone 2:30. That means it's time for us to get into the quick news update with Xoli Lindovela. She is on standby and ready to go. Thereafter, we're going to get straight back into it with Benny Chill. We're going to talk more about music and also about what else we can expect from him. Before we hit 3 o'clock, you are still plugged into the element where everything is rocking, real and relevant, and all for the love of hip-hop. Still kicking it with Benny Chill. So what's your favorite kind of tree to look at?
I don't know the names. It's just one tree. I don't know the names. But there's just this one tree. Like you see like those trees with like the very thick like what's the word? What's the word?
The bark, branch,
is it trunk? No. Yeah, trunk? I think bark. Trunk. Is the trunk the main thing?
The main thing.
Yeah.
Like the body.
Yes, like you see.
Yes, that's the trunk. And
have you seen those? Yeah, have you seen those trees with like a thick like section like that, and like you can almost like sit on it.
Okay.
Yeah, that goes. Yeah.
So you sit under the tree and do what?
I write music, listen to music, just look around. I used to do it like a lot last year because I lived close to a park.
Okay.
Last year, so I'd always go to that park. There was this Golden Harvest Park. Yeah, it's a really cool place, and I'll just go there and chill.
What's the most obscure place you found yourself pinning something? A plane. A plane. What inspired you on the plane?
And this was before I was even making music. I was writing songs like on a plane, but I wasn't even this yet.
Yeah.
But I was writing songs. That's the one thing like I'd say. But more than anything, I do everything in the studio or like in the household type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we've spoken about your mom being one of the biggest influences as you were growing up.
Yeah.
We've spoken about the fact that you encountered some hardships when you moved up from Mpumalanga and came here to Joburg and were sleeping in weird places.
Yeah.
We've spoken about the fact that you've gotten to tour the world and dance for some of the biggest artists.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about going from all of that and now we move into your being a musician and how you transition into who you are today.
Yeah. Okay, so I already touched on a few things with regards to the transition section, but then I just started making music and I analyzed that if you're gonna do something, you need to really come through. Yeah. Especially if you're venturing from one thing to another. So if you wanna go from I'm gonna use like an HD version of an example. Like if you want to go from being like a radio personality to becoming an Oprah Winfrey, when it's time to shoot for the Oprah Winfrey slot, you need to fully go in for the Oprah Winfrey slot.
100%.
So that's the same thing that's the same mentality I used for the music. Like when I started making music, I really went in. I stopped. I refused gigs. I remember. There was a gig when an international artist came this side, and I really I was not a fan, but I really liked that artist.
Yeah.
They came this side he's from Harlem. He came this side and there was a show and they're like, yo, do you wanna come dance for him? And I said no.
Okay.
And in those 2 moments I needed the money, and on top of that I also that would have been good for my dance portfolio.
Right.
But then now this is where it's almost like you're being tested by the universe that is going to support you.
Yeah.
So it's like you'll get thrown these hey, do you want to be this, and come back to this thing, and the more you show that I'm not going back, and not negative oh no, I'm not going back to dance. No, it's just I'm taking a step, another step now, and the more you serious with that step is the more quicker and more impactful the transition of the journey can happen. And that's how it happened with the music. When I started the music, I fully went in for it, and that's why this has happened in 3 years.
So you had to basically put on pause your dance persona and that part of your brain, right? But then you start making music and then you start performing again. So then you have to slowly but surely open that tab and bring that back in. Otherwise you're just gonna be standing there with the mic, and that's not dope. So how do you do that then? Bring that back into the fold without then diluting this new person that you have introduced to people.
So basically you need to set a solid foundation with the next venture that you're going into. So when you move from one thing to another, when you're letting go of this thing, the thing that you're moving into here, you need to make sure you put the right stuff, whatever, like for the foundation. And once that foundation is solid, you can now become and throw other things on top, because the foundation of now the music side is solid. Like I have like a very hefty support base, and it's still growing and everything.
True.
But there's a base of people that now believe in this section and now can introduce like, yo, and to this day I still haven't started dancing. Like I'm always having these talks with my manager, and like I'm telling that like, when I actually start dancing, people are gonna be shocked, because like I haven't danced. I just like, vibe. I just vibe on stage. So the day I start dancing, people are like, yo, this nigga Chris Brown.
So do you plan to incorporate the two heavily like that? Show your dance side as well through your music as well?
Yeah. But there's a timing for everything, there's a timing for everything, and it will definitely happen. And when it does happen, I'll make sure that it happens in the highest way it can happen.
All right, Benny Chill coming through. There are about 23 minutes left of the show. Here's a joint called Yebo. The first time I heard this, I think it was I was watching an interview that you had done.
Yeah.
And I think it was playing in the background or something like that. And I was like, what is that there in the back? I hear what he's saying and it sounds really great, but that thing there in the back, I need to find that thing there in the back. If you want to know what that thing there in the back was, sounds like this. It's just gone 18 minutes before we hit 3 o'clock. Still hanging out with Benny Chill. I was told off air, let it take you.
Yeah.
As Yebo was playing, let it take you. Don't fight it. Don't fight the feeling. Just let it take you away.
I, like usually when I perform, like I see guys, like and it's usually men.
Yeah.
Like they try to fight the feeling. Don't fight it, dog. Don't fight it. Like just let it take you. Like because I can see in someone's eyes that the song is hitting you in a way that like it's unfamiliar.
Yeah.
So like just like let it take you. Don't fight it.
But you see, because it's unfamiliar, we don't know where we're gonna go.
Just let it like take your body. Just let it
Tell me about making this joint.
So the chorus was made in December. Yeah, it was made in December last year, and we had just came from there was a show the day before.
Yeah.
And then me and my friends all came, and now it ties back with the whole thing of like being around an environment that is like
conducive to you, your energy and your spirit.
We were all like we went to the pool area, we went to go swim, we came back, we're like all like in very high spirit.
Yeah.
Like basically talking about the fact that 2019 started off like a little trashy or a little bad. But then
you can say trashy.
Okay, cool. Okay. So it started off bad, and then towards the second half of the year, things were like looking better.
Yeah.
So like we were feeling better about like the progression of our careers and stuff like that. And then we got back to the house, and then Shampuru Makenzo, producer and DJ, the night before, we were watching a music video, and I was like, yo bro, I like that tempo. There was a music video playing, and then he was like, I was like that and then he was like, yo, I can make it. I'm like, please make it like now. And then he hopped on, he made it quickly, and then I listened to it, and in the moment I wasn't connecting fully, but it was like I heard the beat and I was like, okay, actually I could do something to this tomorrow. So I listened to it, and then I was like, okay, cool, I'll play it again tomorrow. The next day we went, vibes, talking about, yo man, damn, 2019, etc. Get back into the house. I'm like, yo, Shampoo, can you please put that beat on FL? I'm ready to record. He was like, what do you mean? I'm like, yo, dude, I'm turned right now. And then he's like, what do you mean you're turned? I'm like, my energy's at a certain like
frequency. I'm vibrating at a particular level.
And then we got into the studio, and then he played the beat, and then he's like, "Are you gonna write anything?" I'm like, "No." And then and I'm like, "Just pass me the headphones." He passed me the headphones, and then the beat started, and then I went into the whoa.
That's the thing that catches you.
Yeah. And then I went, I did that, and then I came out, and then he was like looking at me like, "Yo, like what's that, dude?
Which one is this one now?"
And then I was like, "I need to add something else."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "What?" And then I said, "Play back." And then I went back, and then I went into the it's such like a stage, such it's such like a stage. And everyone asked me like, "What am I saying there?" And like, to be honest, like that's the blingo. The blingo is the Benny language, Benny lingo. You know what I'm saying? And it's more speaking from like a place where like you're not trying to make sense, but you're delivering whatever feels.
It's a feeling.
Yes.
It's not necessarily about articulating anything like particularly.
Especially with hooks.
So it's just you're sharing with us your feeling in that moment and hoping that it'll catch. Right.
So that's the thing. So like, and I tend to do that a lot with hooks, because at the end of the day, like a hook, like when you listen to Nigerian artists, we don't understand everything that they're saying, but it slaps us. Like it's yeah. Mandu, whatever. I don't know what he says.
You don't know the lyrics. Yeah.
But it slaps, you know. And that's the thing. Like that's how Yebo was made. And then the verses, those I wrote. I wrote the verses. I think the first verse changed twice.
How come?
Because I did the first verse, and I played it back. And then like I let it sit for like 2 months. I'd listen to it. I'm like, it's not hitting in a way that like years from now that like it would still hit me. Like, yo, that was an impactful way of doing things.
Right.
So then I changed that verse, and then the second verse stayed the second verse. And then I still like sat with the song. I performed it. And then the one time at a performance, I remember before coming out, when the the crowd was going before I got into the stage. And then when I got home, I was like, yo, I need to add that thing that the crowd was doing where it went so I added that, and I was like, the song is complete.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Is that kind of sporadic, spontaneous, almost very inclusive, because you don't have to include the things you're picking up from people around you and the vibes from people that you're performing for. Is that way of making music the norm for you, or does it differ on each joint?
So like with the bangers, the high energy songs, or like the songs that keep you going. Yeah. Those have to come directly from the source, like, and source like being like the spirit. So Hey Chill chorus also wasn't written. Yeah. The Hey Chill, the hey ha, that was all from like what I was feeling in the moment. Yes. And then with Hey Chill, the verses also weren't written. Hence why to this day, like whenever I'm performing, like I'll perform Yebo, and I'll get like a group of kids saying, yo, perform Hey Chill again, because Hey Chill is basically like spirit talk. So like the whole song is like the flows, the cadence is just me talking without thinking too hard or writing or taking a step back, and that's the thing. Like, so like with the bangers, that's how they made. It's more organic, like quickly. And then with the songs where it's more deep or more melodic, those are the ones that I take time. I take time and I just think about what I'm saying. If I'm talking about heartbreak, I'll break it down like more in depth and that type of thing. But yeah, those are the two sections, healing and uplifting. So generally, as far as your music is concerned, what is it that you hope to achieve? What do you believe your purpose within the music is? So like, and I said this on an interview, like I think last month, I was saying like a lot of the negative things that happen on the planet are because people don't have a high level of confidence or self-esteem or self-belief. Like the list goes on, and most of these things start with like individuals feeling some type of way about themselves. Yes. But if everyone felt good about themselves, if they felt more confident, if they felt more like, yo, I can take over the world too, they won't look at someone that is taking over the world and be angry about it.
Like, yo, why is he getting the opportunity to do that and I'm not?
Yeah, if everyone's built internally, and that's what that's what I want the music to do, and like the visuals or my interviews, whatever, is that build yourself internally so that you don't have to be angry at someone else's success or hate or this or envy, so that the world can like move in a more calm way because everyone knows they have it. That's the thing.
So when you're a spiritual person and you vibrate generally higher than the average person.
Yeah.
The average person tends to look at your outlook on life.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're always so happy, you're always so positive, you're always speaking positivity, and find negativity in it and be like, but that can't be real, Betty. You can't always be like
happy,
that.
and that's the
you
thing.
can't always be that happy. What do you say to that kind of narrative, and how do you, or do you even care to let people know that sometimes I do feel sad, it's just I don't choose to publicize that and harp on it and give that energy.
Okay, so like I'd say like with what you just said, like the second section of what you just said, like dude, everyone on the planet goes through like sad moments, depression, anxiety, anger, being grumpy, waking up on the wrong side of the bed. But the thing is, okay, if you're waking up on the wrong side of the bed, and it's just like, oh man, I didn't get enough sleep. Cool. But now, if you're waking up on the wrong side of the bed, like, yo man, that guy bought a Range Rover. You see what I'm saying? And for me, to defuse the envy, the hate, it's like it's self-love, it's self-belief, it's self-confidence, building that. Like there's a song I have called African Boy where I say like, even in the dirt, Dala Velling Shed. Like that's the thing. Like if everyone is just like built in a certain way, even in struggle, people will still be fine with that guy that's rich, or like you won't try to kill them. You won't try. Americans, you've seen how like guys like rappers blow up or make it, and then they get killed in their neighborhood because it's almost like a crab. What's the term? The crab thing. The crab in a barrel.
Yes, where they want to. It's almost like pull it down syndrome.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
And it all starts with like there's no self-strength, self-esteem, self-belief. Like it's a whole lot. But I feel like if more artists start pushing this thing, Kanye West has pushed this thing.
Yeah.
Kanye West has pushed this thing to where he could, and I feel like whoever Kanye West has inspired or motivated, they need to keep running with it. You get what I'm saying? Like, like for instance, like I'm coming again with HD. Kanye West is probably like the only male that has fed me information that I've used in my life, and I've moved swiftly. So with that being like that, I want to keep doing the same thing and also putting in like my own ideologies, like tweaking it, but the same thing has to keep getting pushed forward.
Right.
Of like building people internally so that like you're solid.
True. All right. Benny Chill, there's about 8 minutes to go. I'm going to play a song by your best friend.
It's my favorite number.
It's your favorite number.
Yeah.
Do you believe in numerology and things
Yes,
like
I do.
that? I will talk about that in a bit because I believe in that too. So we're going to play a song by your best friend, Costa Titch, alongside Youngster CPT. It's called Vahabiki.
Hey.
And then when we come back, you are going to give me 5 things.
Yeah.
And I'll let you know what those 5 things are.
Okay, cool.
When we come back.
The boom back, nigga.
Wow, there's a lot going on. Benny just won't chill. Right? You think this is your house?
Yeah.
You're very comfortable here.
I'm always comfy. Like,
you think this is your house?
the earth is my playground.
The earth is your playground. This portion of the earth is like a black hole. Behave yourself. All right, so I did say that I want 5 things from you before we dip.
Yes.
And what those 5 things are, you've expanded on them a lot as we've chatted, but I want you to surmise them and make them really, really super simple for people who have been enjoying what you're saying, who enjoy the way that you move and the way that you think, and who enjoy your music. And I want to call them the 5 essentials for a chill state of mind.
Oof.
What are the 5 essentials for a chill state of mind?
Okay. So, Hey, wait.
Yeah, Earth is my playground.
The earth is my playground. Hey, she came through. Okay, cool. Prayer.
All right, prayer.
Prayer.
All right.
Doing something on a day-to-day basis that gives you the same kind of joy you used to experience when you were a kid.
Yes.
So even if it's like watching a cartoon as an old person, if you like the cartoon, watch the cartoon.
Yes.
Mautanzi ice cream, buy the ice
Asia
cream.
ice cream.
Do you
Yes.
get, like, and people try to fight those things, but then like just doing that small thing like each day, like, you know, like I like ice skating.
Okay.
So like there would be times where I'd go and ice skate,
Yeah.
like those type of things. So like prayer,
Basically keeping your inner child alive.
yes, exactly.
Number 3.
Keep your environment clean, like figuratively and like also like like because I'm
Spiritually clean as well.
and then
You got 2 more to go.
no need to compare anything.
Okay, unpack that.
Okay, so by me saying there's no need to compare anything, I'm talking about like literally like everything. Like you don't need to compare your looks with someone. You don't need to compare your lifestyle with. You don't need to do that. You're only hurting yourself.
Right.
Like that's the thing. Like you really only hurting because like most of the time like females like will be like, yo, I wish I and then like girl like you fly.
Is that how you talk to your woman?
What do you mean?
All right, what's the last one?
I say like yeah, and the last one I'd say pursue your dreams even though like it's difficult. Like try to do it maybe like on the side so that you still, and also ties into that kid that your childhood.
Yes.
Because like you don't wanna lay down like one day and like I should have I could have yeah
I didn't.
So
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like so be present.
Be present.
Yeah, just be present. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And we are done. What is your parting shot? What do you want and need people to know before I let you go?
I need you to know that you will be fine. You know, like every time I go live, and also like on my DMs, like I get like a lot of people from the Chill family. The Chill family are people that support me.
Yeah.
And they always talk about their problems. They always talk about like, yo man, Isha dog, yo chill dog. I need. You don't need me to do anything. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You just need to breathe. You need to breathe. You need to pray, and you need to focus on the things that are more fulfilling to your life and more positive.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming and rocking out with me.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate that.
Mpumalanga Bay 013 baby.
013 baby coming through in the 011, taking us to 1 minute. So a lot of ones happening right now. 1 minute before we hit 3 o'clock. Koli is here and ready and on standby to give us a full news update. After you hear Koli right now at 3 o'clock, you will be listening to the sounds of DJ Spoo live coming through from 3 until 6 p.m. right here on Massive Metro, as well as the voice of Tembisa. That's been the show for today. A big shout out to the entire team, to Just Chills on social media, to Tepo Bweta who's handling videography. So this video of this interview will be dropping very, very soon. And if you love it, it's because of Tepo Bweta. And also to Mr. Instro, making me sound absolutely amazing, and for handling our beautiful playlist for today. Oli, come through, babes. It is your time to shine. Thank you so much for rocking out with me. I'm back again tomorrow from 1 until 3 p.m. Remember, in everything that you do, make sure that you are in your element. And while being in your element, keep it pristine. Goodbye.